Okay, hey everybody. Okay, we're on video 7. In this one, we didn't finish the GUI. We still need to add the level and the score onto the GUI. So let's go ahead and open up our script variables, and we'll add global dot level and global dot score. Now you want to use an uppercase there, because if you did this, that's part of how the game works, or the Gamemaker works, and I don't really use that. I just make my own variable for it. And equals 0 equals 0. Okay, so that's good. Now let's get into the slash control. We're drawing in the end again. Okay, so here we can just copy one of these. Draw text color in European. And this will be the global level. So we'll do room width. Let's do it divided by 4. So it's a quarter into the screen. That's the X. The Y, we'll keep it 20. And we'll say level. Make sure you have a space there. Plus, and then once again string, because it's gonna, we want to turn it into a string. Global, oops, level. And the rest we can keep the same. Let's just copy that one again. And this one, we will do room width minus room width divided by 4. So that'll be a quarter in from the whole width of the screen. Keep that same. Everything's the same. Oh, that's got to be changed. This is going to be your score. String global score. Okay, so I think that should work. Let's give it a try. And there it is. Levels equal level 0, score 0. So those are all the GUI pieces that I'm going to be using. Kind of simple, really simple actually. Okay. And I think I will go ahead, let's see. Yeah, go ahead and add the rocks and the spaceship during the splash screen, just so you have a feeling for collision. So we'll right click on the sprites, create sprite, load sprite, and there's our rock. For some reason that has color to it. Let's edit the sprite, double click on it, and click this little highlight thing here, and grab the green and just click delete. Green, delete. I'm not sure why that's in there. All the green little areas. And she's okay. Okay. Call it sprite rock. And we'll go ahead and center it. And she's okay. Close that for now. Right click on sprite, create sprite. Call this sprite UFO. Oh, we don't have it in there yet, but load sprite UFO. See, that one's not fine. Center it. Okay. Okay, so we got our sprites there. Now these are going to have to be turned into objects because they're going to collide. So in objects, let's do create object. Object. Let's do UFO. And we'll have this sprite, and we have this drop down box. We'll just say sprite UFO. Okay, in here we're going to use physics. And we need to change anything here? I don't think so. I think just to be fast and easy. You can use shape. And if you use shape, you can shape this stuff. This will center it. So it goes around the ship. But I think I'm just going to stick to, just for tutorial purposes, box. I'll just kind of box it in there. It's not the most accurate. Shape would be more accurate. You could shape it around the object. Okay, let's use OK. And OK. Now, and then we'll create another object. And we'll call it object. I'm going to call this one Rock, I think. No, I'm just going to call it rock because the one for the sprite, I'll still be using that sprite for other rocks, but this is just for the splash screen, so I don't want it to have the stuff that I'm going to have for the other rocks. And drop down that box, sprite rock. Okay, I just got a phone call, so I had to pause it for a second. I gotta turn off my phone when I'm doing this. Okay, so we're going to call it object rock, and that's going to be used for the splash screen. Like I said, I will still be using that rock because that's the main rock for the big rocks for the asteroid game. And I'll just call that one Rock. Okay, so there's object rock. Let's see. I'm also, this is just called object UFO. Matter of fact, in objects, right click on it, create group. Let's call this splash objects. Because I'll have a different UFO too for the game, because it's going to have different abilities. It's going to react differently. This one's just going to go flying in left and right. And then if they happen to collide, they'll explode. So, oh, I didn't name that. Did I name it? Oh, it's open still. Okay, object rock. Okay, let's give it its abilities. So we'll start with the UFO, add event, create, control, and code. Now first we're going to need some speed for it. So when it flies by, when it's created, speed, and the speed is a Gamemaker variable, equals random range. I'm going to go 0.3 to 5. So it's going to randomly choose between 0.3 and 5. And I'm using random range, which means it can be a decimal point. So it can be anything between, 0.3 and 5, 0.4, 0.5, 0.455556, whatever. Now if I had added an I, that would make it an integer. So it would have came up with a 1. It would probably round up, I believe, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It has to be a an actual integer. Okay, so it's random range. And when it's created, I want it to say, oh, you know what? I'm going to add a variable in here. Do I need it in there? No. Let's see. This probably isn't the best way to do it, but I'm going to do it anyways. I'm going to go ahead and make the global variable here. I could have made the variable more local, but I'm going to do it this way. Global dot UFO equals false. So that's just going to say if the UFO is actually flying. If it's not, then it'll create a random number, and then whenever that number comes up, it'll create the UFO. But we only want one UFO at a time. So in here, I'll say global UFO, unidentified floating object, equals true. So when it's created, it'll become true. Then we're going to go RND for random equals, here's an integer random, I random, and it's not going to be a range. So I'm going to say it always starts with 0, so I'm going to say 1. So it'll either be 0 or 1. There may be a better way to do this, I'm not sure. So if RND equals 0, then its x will be 34. So basically what I'm saying is it's going to start off in the left side of the screen and just past the frame that we created. Now we'll add a direction equals random range, random range 315 to 405. Now if you have time, you can look up on Gamemaker's directions. You know, like right is 0, up is 90, left is 180. You'll see the degrees. I'm not going to show you that here, but you can look it up, and that's how I came up with the numbers for this that I felt comfortable with. Else, we'll copy this stuff. Else we want it to come in from the right side. Room width minus 34. And then now the direction will be going left. So I'll go 135 to 225. Which I'm kind of being conservative on those numbers. I could have made them a little looser, but I think that'll work. Your y-axis is going to be random range. Once again, I don't have an I, so it can be between these numbers. 55. Damn it. 55 and room height minus 55. So it's going to come in from the top to the bottom. It could be anywhere in between there. Let's open that up so you can see it. Let's also add a sound for it. There's my sounds. Create sound. Load. Where's my audio? UFO. Sound UFO. And name it sound UFO. Set it to compressed, no streamed in memory. Okay. Let's open this up. If global dot sound on is true, script sound UFO, and we want it to loop while it's alive. We'll turn it off when it's dead. So that's the create. That's the creation stuff. Now the next part, now we'll create a step. That's the loop that continually loops. Step, step, code. And we'll say if x is smaller than 18 or x is larger than room width minus 18 or y smaller than 39 or y is larger than room height minus 39. And what's this is doing is, once it's gone off the screen, it'll destroy itself. So we'll say instance destroy. Once it flies whichever direction it's going, it'll end up at one of those points. Run off screen. Okay. So that's constantly going. It's checking to make sure that it stays on the screen, or if it's gone off the screen. Now we'll add an event, one more, called destroy. And let's add the code. Global dot UFO equals false. Audio stop sound, because we want to tell that it's specific sound to turn off. Sound UFO. Okay, so that object should be ready to go. And I'm going to go ahead and get it going before we end here. In the splash control, in the splash control, in the step, I'm going to add another control or code. Create UFO. So if global dot UFO is false, that's what that exclamation point means. So if it's not alive right now, then random equals I random. So we're looking for an integer from 0 to 50. I just kind of throw that number out there, really, but oops. If random R&D equals 5, has to equal 5, then we go global dot UF. Well, actually, we don't need to do it here, do we? It's being created there. Instance create X, Y, object, UFO. Okay. I believe that should make it work. Let's give it a try. And I don't have to put the XY coordinates when I'm creating it, because it's happening when the object itself is being created. So I don't have to tell it. There it goes. It's going flying around. Oh, it kind of disappears too fast though. It'll only be one at a time. Okay, in the step of the UFO, where it's detecting where it's coming off the screen, this one should be 18. The room height minus 18. Because it starts disappearing right there before it's supposed to. The 39 is for that, because we have a longer or a bigger area at the top to detect. So that should work. Oh, we got to kill it too. So in the splash control, in the destroy, because we've got to destroy that UFO. With object UFO. Oops. Instance destroy. That should do it. Wait. Damn it. Instance destroy. Okay, so I gotta let this one go. This one's getting kind of long here. So, all right, I'll see you guys later. All right, don't forget to subscribe. All right, buddies. Bye.